Oh.
So I have this great. And they just throw out. Things. Let's be there doing that. Result. Oh. You were the one that did. Oh, yeah. Like you do from around that it's a new fact. We have this guy. You're ready. Yes, you're weird. You're intense. Like in a second. You guys. I think nominate. Maybe to run the. Are you? Yeah, difference if you want. It's like I can that review it. You started a vision class and I for one day for what kind of meeting I have is 15 people. That it is help them trip. I didn't say I know. Spend so for 1,000. Elliot, you know, like it's good and I want to have this to bring out your turns out. But I will explain to you. I should change your claims when it's about Sean's starting the later. Turns on 6 and 12. You can't pick up the word. Stuff you think you go to the get up there for offer.
while they're figuring that out, we'll continue. Is there anyone else who has anything or public discussion? Okay, then we will move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda, includes the minutes from April 27th, city council meeting, and exclude claims from April 28th to May 11th, totaling $22,467.50. Council, I assume you had a chance to review this. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Councilor Henderson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Councilor Decker has seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Department reports. Admin report.
It's been busy with a trip to the Capitol to present our state bonding request to the state representatives Capital Investment Committee and the preparations that were needed in that meeting. We continue to prepare for the utility extensions plan for 2026 to 2028, as well as the Rice Lake Road Corridor project, final designs and streetscaping. There are a lot of things that must be completed during the design phase and pre-construction phase on these projects to make sure we have a successful project in the end. We also worked on updating our utility mapping system to make sure everything is accurate in the system, as we reference it often in the summer for construction projects and new utility connections. April is also a busy month for closing out the previous year's budget and finances and preparing for the auditors to come and review our accounting practices and financials for last year. For data request update, for the month of April, I processed 4 requests, 18.75 hours with an approximate estimated cost of $712.50. That brings our 2026 totals to 16 requests, 26.5 hours for staff time, and estimated cost of $1,019.65.
Thank you. Any questions for Tony? Financial report.
For the month ending of April 30th, 2026, in our checking account, we had $2,337,034.39. In our investment accounts, we have $1,627,074.90 for a total combined cash of $3,964,109.29.
Thank you. Any questions, council? Building and zoning.
The month of April, administrative land splits 1, commercial accessory structures 2, PUD preliminary plan 1, residential deck 1, residential demolition 3, residential detached garage 1, residential plumbing 2, residential remodel 1, residential roof siding, windows and or doors 2, residential single family dwelling 1, and then 1 right-of-way permit for a total of 16 permits issued. The total valuation of $415,180 and total fees collected were $26,759.18. Respectfully submitted, Carly Hungerford.
Thank you. Animal control.
So looks like there was a cat and 7 kittens that were dropped off at Animal Allies that were found on the corner of Rice Lake and West Tisher Road. Received a call from a resident about a deceased canine in the woods just off Reed Road. Located the dog and reached out to missing pets in the Northland stand for microchip, but none found. Contacted the owner of the property where a dog was found. Still don't really have a status update on that one at all. There was 2 stray dogs on Lismore Road. Good Samaritans were able to secure the dogs and return them home. Letter was sent to the property owner regarding our dot ordinance. And then received an email with videos of 2 dogs leashed on residents' property. Resident reports they are the neighbor's dog from 5199 Arnold Road, and a letter was sent to those neighbors. And then there was a deceased cat on Martin Road. Attempted to locate, but cat was gone when Carly arrived. Respectfully submitted, Carly Hungerford. Public Works. Shane?
Infrastructure. Contrary addressing road conditions following the seasonal freeze not cycle. Rain is now actively against possible and potholes in the city. Like the summer remaining frost of the storm and more circles and all saying it's still coming in. I was in contact last week, earlier last week with Northern constructors and their routes. And so we anticipated to start on the 18th. We've been having calls, so it's like people troubles are starting to crank cuts. It's somewhat of the. We got utilities, just the normal routine checks, the maintenance is, the lift stations and water system are ongoing, the hydrant flushing is anticipated to start here in about mid-May, excuse me. So maintain the quality of the system and the performance. Facility maintenance, winter operations have concluded, for the season. However, the crews, we're prepared to respond if there's any late storm events like the other day, I seen some flurries, so hopefully that does not happen. The equipment has been cleaned, inspected, transitioned for the spring, summer operation. Touch briefly on the lift station generator stuff. The construction that's going to be completed and start up. Full battery systems. All with that, the PCA representative for members met with that in a walk. So. Video or whatever it was, I don't recall, yes, remember what it was called, but further, I think they're part of the, arrangement. Moving on to the park, spring cleanup efforts, starting as we speak now, fuel this weekend, park is anticipated to go on the 15th of May.
Any questions, council? All right. Chief, fire department report? Go ahead.
Alright, so, for service, 27 medicals, 2 structure fires, 2 lift assists, 1 automatic fire alarm, 1 carbon monoxide alarm, and then 1 hazardous materials call. A couple weeks ago, we had our pancake breakfast, which was a huge success. We had a record number of community members come through, and in total, we estimate that we served probably 650 to 700 meals during that event. And then upcoming this Friday is the School Carnival and one Christmas again as well. The wildfire season outlook, we continue to have plenty of fuels in our wooded areas. We've been subjected to the emerald ash borers, the spruce disease, and then on top of town windstorm trees that have been on the ground for quite some time now. So there's plenty of fuel in the woods. They said, we still anticipate having a lot lesser than normal wildfire season, the cooler temperatures, the wetter spring that we have had up to this point. However, these windy, dry days, there's still enough brown stuff out there. Will ignite and spread quickly. So we urge everybody to continue to use caution. Adhere to the burning restrictions and burning processes on our website. And then once things get green, let's make sure you have your permit and you're ready to go going forward. Then lastly, our new members that we took on last month, we've been busy onboarding them and getting them up to date with basic operations of how we do things, and that's been going well so far. And it's two recent hires, we now have 26 members and 3 reserve members.
Great. Okay. Any questions for the chief? Sheriff's report.
So over the last month, there's been 200 incidents. A lot of these are proactive patrols, as well as traffic stops. It starts to warm up, there's a lot more speed. There's not really a lot holding people back like snow and stuff like that. So the speed and stop signs will be a big, I guess, point of patrol for me over the next few weeks in the summer.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you back with us. Okay, now let's move on to new business. Lift station pump replacement. Who would like to talk about this? Shane.
So, one of the submersibles at lift station 10, recently, on the shaft, it's ready to snap, causing inherent damages and releasing the shaft itself. The pump itself is a 2008 model. So it's nearing the end of its service life anyways. The 2 bolts that were obtained, one was for repair of that current pump and one was for the replacement. One of the options provided, a lower upfront cost for the fixing of the current pump. And basically, you're rebuilding a 17-year-old pump with major internal damage. With replacing the key components and the remaining structure, then components of the pump are still at that age and no traditional failures in the future. Repair also it only carries a 90-day warranty, which presents a higher risk of recurring maintenance costs with potential downtime. In contrast, replacing this with a new unit, and you get the full service life expectancy and you get the 5-year municipal warranty. Improve long-term reliability, reduce risk of change to the operational instructions. The repair for the existing pump is $13,441 on any time, 2 full weeks with only the 90-day replacement. It's the price may go up versus I think it was 2 years ago I bought that one for the station 3. It's right around that $24,000 price range with the 10 to 12 week kind and the 5-year municipal warranty. And this is the cash facility that's to your usually a main distributor that we air pumps and matches and things that are providing.
With the 10 to 12 week lead time and go with a replacement, what do we do for 10 to 12 weeks if this isn't working?
Well, there is emergency options, which obviously that's expensive price of this.
I understand that, but how are we going to function?
They would have to go through the engineer, from probably different distributor or wherever there was long available. And after come on it, so.
When we had that windstorm, what was that, 2016? No, that was what, when did we have?
2016.
Oh, it was 2016? We had a problem with the lift stations because the power was out, right? What did we do then?
We had to call in, septic pumping people to come and pump it and haul it away for us.
Okay, is that what we're gonna have to do here?
So,
Yes, each person insurance cover, I'll see it.
Okay. So
But
we
the
should buy it,
generator basically that took care of all this issue, so.
Right. Right.
It's taken care of.
so we can't function temporarily with just the one pump, is that?
But if they don't, for whatever reason, if they work.
Yeah.
They can turn back and forth. So.
All right, so the cost of repair is more than half. Of whatever each place. Okay, council. Comments?
My initial thought is, I mean, it's less than double to replace it, so. My opinion would be to replace it and get a new one, so it would last longer.
And like I said, if it was a 2015 or whatever, that'd be different, but. Just with your, how old it is, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for those now, that's what you're all do.
Sure, just, it looks like we want an additional budget allocation, so is that, where is that coming from?
For the new asset.
Yeah.
There's. Like, that word. So it's here.
So we do have, so the sewer and water are considered proprietary funds, so they're kind of self-supporting to what we bring in, we use for expenses. So we do have some money in that fund that is just cash on hand. This is just an unbudgeted item, so that's why we're asking the budget addition as well as a purchase. That makes sense.
Makes sense. Other comments, council?
Sorry if I missed this, is the full $24,722 coming from that cash on hand from? I agree. I don't want to be penny wise, pound foolish, or repair, just that replace.
How long do these pumps typically last? We're looking at about 20 years, so it's almost dead anyway.
That's probably, that's a good life expectancy, that's what I mean, it's right about at where it needs to be called saying, it was due for something to happen. It's about the same time frame that we started having issues there, maybe that one, I think I was 20 years in a row.
Yeah. Any other comments or questions from council? Then I will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the lift station pump replacement.
Councilor Henderson has made a motion. Do I have a second?
One second.
Councilor Quaid has seconded. Are there comments from audience?
How many more? Gary Olson, West Calvary Road. Quick question. How many pumps are that age? You know, you can be an ongoing problem.
Lift station 3, that has 2 current age model pumps. Lift station 3 is still one owner, still there. You will get water and more pumps.
Yeah, I knew that.
Any other comments? Okay. Then we will take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Executed claims, this has been pulled out of the consent agenda, executed claims, because it is being paid to the wife of one of our counselors, who needs to then abstain. So this is a claim 5/2026 for Tracy Quaid, $373. This is for she does here in City Hall. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the claim for Tracy Quaid for $373.
Councilor Johnson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilor Jacka has seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, current Jen. Fine, Councilor Quaid abstains. Resolution 26-15, conflict of interest for Councilor Johnson. Tony, do you want to talk about this?
So these are resolutions that we do annually for different council members that on occasion may do some sort of
work for the city. If we have a large snowstorm and our public works staff has already worked their full shift and needs to take a break, and we need someone else to continue plowing roads, that's where this may come into play. So we do these on an annual basis. So this is for allowing Counselor Johnson to plow and grade city roads, inspection of city utilities, and then general maintenance of city buildings and equipment. The rate that he would be paid is an hourly rate of $32 per hour. And we are asking for council permission to allow him to do that work if needed.
Any comments, any questions from the council?
Yeah, I'd just like to point out ordinance 37, which says how much money we make per meeting. It also calls out how much we get paid for our auxiliary duties, just so everybody can see this. It's on our website, it's transparent, but human resource council members, 32 an hour, road supervisor, when we have a council member, we have 32 an hour, fire department liaison, 32 an hour, weed inspector, 32 an hour. So just want to point out this is consistent with all.
Thank you, Councilor Gentle. Any other comments from the council? Then I will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2615 conflict of interest for Councilor Johnson.
Councilor Jeff has made a motion. Do I have a second? Councilor Quaid has seconded. Any comments from the audience?
Tara Elshire, 4802 Arnold Road. What constitutes the start and stop? Because speaking from my experience with my family, Counselor Johnson was a constant, not only at Public Works, but then needed to be put on the city hall cameras right away. So I'm just curious, where's the on-off switch? Because like when you reference the pay for the other vendors, I know that very well because I was at the August 24th or August 22nd, 2024, and that's the same pay. But the difference is HR comes in when they're needed. And I'm just wondering where that line is. It always seems blurry with Counselor Johnson.
Well, my understanding, if we need to call on his services for one of these things, we tell him when to start and then until the job is done. As far as presence in Public Works, I stop in there sometimes. I stop in here a lot, but I don't put that on my time card.
I understand, but I mean, you and I have actually had this conversation on phone call before where I said it is a constant presence. And I said, you don't go running to City Hall when somebody needs a Band-Aid. Because you and Suzanne both referenced your liaison role as HR. And it is completely different from when he was first the interim acting public works supervisor. And then that kind of dissipated into this, but then was always there. And then giving rules, doing write-ups, but not approaching the people that needed to be talked to. It's a very, very blurry gray area. And I think it would be in everybody's best interest, especially for your future employees at Public Works, to get a clear understanding of an on-off, because it's a little overly active for just a liaison. And since there's an hourly rate for the conflict of interest, there needs to be a clear line. That's all I'm saying.
For payment purposes, there is a very clear line.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Then we will vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilor Johnson, will abstain. Regional Stormwater Protection Team. Tony?
So I just shared the letter that we received from this group. We've been members in this organization for probably since it started, maybe 2003. I know at least for as long as I've been here. So it is the Regional Stormwater Protection Team, which is kind of just some representatives from the local communities. Some people who certainly have more knowledge than we do. Robin actually is the staff member that attends these meetings on our behalf. One of the reasons we like being a part of this group is because they help us meet a lot of our MS4 requirements, as far as, you know, public outreach. I think from this organization is where the food fairy came from, if anybody has seen their advertisements and such. So again, that helps us meet a lot of our MS4 requirements just by being a member and being involved in this. So it's just kind of something I wanted to throw out there. Counselor Quaid had mentioned, you know, that one of our previous meetings, all the different groups that are actually monitoring the lakes and streams, and this is one of them. We are a member. So I just thought it was simple, kind of explains what their purpose is.
So how much involvement do we have? Is it just Robin attending meetings?
Well, starting, I think they meet once a month. Once a month. If we do happen to do any additional things, there's a spreadsheet that the group maintains. So we can just put our thing on there too, and all of the other surrounding communities can claim that as because we understand we not only reaching Rice Lake residents, you know, it's reaching our surrounding communities. So that for the most part is where our involvement in the group ends. We could certainly be more involved, but.
Okay. All right, any questions?
Is there a membership fee for this?
There is, I believe it is 300 a year.
Anything else? All right. Then let's move on to first readings. 2026 Rice Lake Maintenance Agreement with Duluth. You want to talk about this?
Sure, so we had met with Duluth, I think 2 years ago, maybe, to kind of discuss kind of our bordering roads. And who's maintaining them. So we've kind of had a verbal understanding in place for many years, so we just wanted to get a written agreement so that everybody understands what their duties are. So within this road agreement, we are discussing exhibits, I'm sure I catch all of them. So we're talking about Birchwood Road, which is at the end of our First Avenue South, just flows right into Birchwood Road. So that's one of those roads we follow First Avenue South and then just continue onto Birchwood Road. And this is for West Austin Street, which the northern portion is in Rice Lake, southern is in Duluth. So we plow that entire road. And then for Holstead Road, the city of Duluth plows that entire road for us. So again, it's just kind of establishing who's doing what in written form.
And I noticed if you look at total road length, it's pretty evenly split.
Pretty even, yeah. And for the most part, you know, we're coming off of our roads going on to another for Austin, so.
Okay.
But it's mostly just down in the southeast corner.
Yeah.
I was a little stumped when I first saw Birchwood Road.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, Birchwood Road, and it's not done.
we do, yes.
That one.
Yeah.
That went through, I didn't realize that whole, first ever saw.
Yeah.
Turns into Birchwood Road.
Sure.
You know,
we could ask, we do have Jeff Nuclear here from Duluth, so we can see if they'll maybe rename Birchwood to First Avenue South.
I can give it a try.
He is here if you have any questions you want to address with it as well.
Well, I do think it is smart to have something in writing, official.
Right, so we're not doing anything about this today, then?
Correct, yep, yeah, so no, there's no financial monies exchanged or anything, it's just an understanding of work being done, and my understanding is Duluth City Council is doing kind of the same thing, looking at the agreement and.
Is there any union? Plausible.
With the local bar, with the CBA and the applicant contract, no. And just for background, the maintenance on each one of these, each city has been performing virtually.
Yeah.
So again, this is just a legal, yes, if you will. Thank you. And Blue City Council is on the agenda for that edit also.
Okay. Then we will move on to purchasing policy.
Second.
I'm not at this time. Purchasing policy.
So it's on here just to kind of start the process of discussing potentially moving. Partly because we have seen that a few things come through, you know, the boiler, City Hall boiler that's on the agenda for tonight. Some items that it would be nice, we may not necessarily think of that as an emergency repair, you know, that would fall in the category of emergency purchasing. So just seeing if council is open to the discussion of moving that from $5,000 to $10,000. Again, the cost of things has certainly risen since we wrote this policy, and I think just making sure we're staying on budget with everything, which our public works supervisor has shown a track record of coming in under budget the last couple of years since he's been here, so.
So basically, the only changes that we're making to our current policy is the amount.
Correct, yeah.
Everything else is staying the same.
Yeah. And this was mirrored after, the state statute for contract agreement purchasing. So that's kind of why I'm omitting that paragraph of the over 5,000 under 10. It's semi-redundant if we move forward with this, because we still will abide by the getting too close to the process.
Okay. Council? Any comments?
I'm not worried about this. Personally, really at all. I think everyone on staff has been very responsible with that and getting goals when feasible. And then we should do this.
Anyone else? All right, then we will bring this back to the next meeting and take a vote on it then. Resource renew capacity allocation permit.
So we just got a letter from Resource Renewal to renew our, have with them, it's a 3-year permit. Basically lays out what they are permitting us to discharge to WSSD. Obviously, this is one of these things to, if, I don't know if everybody remembers, we pay a budgeted amount for the year. So every month we pay the same amount regardless of what the usage is. And then at the end of the year, they kind of look at everything and say, okay, did you send us more or less? So this, again, just kind of spells out that process. So this permit would go from January 1st of 27 to December 31st of 2030. They did raise our allocations. I think it partly due to the expansions that we have and just knowing that we will have potential additional flow going to them. But this permit, again, they use these permits so that they can figure out with all the communities if they have enough capacity to accept. From all of them.
So basically, we don't have choice.
Not really, no, that's for putting in our own sewer treatment plant, which.
I don't think so. Okay, any questions, council? Okay. And we'll look at that again at our next meeting, we'll vote on this then next meeting. Yeah. The assistant city administrator job description. Tony, I know you've been working on this for quite a while.
Yeah, so, it fairly closely mirrors the city administrator position, just showing that it is the assistant to the administrator, noting too that, you know, they're also executing the duties of the clerk, and duties of the treasurer pursuant to those statutes that apply to those. Again, this is kind of just the first step in, we need a job description if we're going to hire someone for that position.
And you pretty much base this off of step, what we have to.
Correct, yes.
Well, I know I've had a number of conversations with Tony about this, so I don't have a lot of questions, but the rest of you have not, so.
We'll take a little bit pressure off you at some point.
Yes.
Have you all reviewed it? Anything you think she's missed or that we need to look at that's not here?
Didn't really give us a hint on when she might be retired.
I'm trying to avoid that at this session. And as Ms. Alshire brought up, the way I explained it, is that what you're thinking as well?
Yes, yep, right now, we're still kind of under the old structure, like I think. Actually, one of Robin's titles is deputy clerk, so kind of just updating those to get them a little more current, so that will. In essence, get rid of the deputy clerk, deputy treasurers that we have on it, and just, yeah, get us more in line.
So we're kind of aligning the whole office.
Correct.
To be more inclusive with the actual group. All right. All right, well then we'll bring this back to the next meeting or a vote. Unfinished business. The boiler replacement. Now I have to say, right off the bat, there are 4 quotes here. And the difference in pricing is incredible. Why is it so different?
Yeah, so the first one from Buell, this is for the replacement, so the $6,889 is for basically like for like swap of what we have in place right now. The second one is for the repair. We did look into a warranty claim, and it unfortunately is something that isn't covered under the warranty. So this would be the cost for having it repaired. When they were here, they did note a couple other things that if we go the repair route, they would recommend swapping out like the igniter and that type of stuff too. I didn't get an updated quote from them just because I'm recommending that we just replace it instead of fixing those things. Carlson Duluth, when I looked at this one, it's a different brand boiler, so I don't know if that's the large cost difference. And then the Kalkbrenner replacement, it's actually a little bit of an upsized boiler from what we currently have in there. I did ask that question to Yule when they came back to look, and they said if that was, our standalone heating source, we would maybe need to upsize, but that's kind of a supplementary heating source, so they felt confident in just recommending replacing like for like.
So we're looking at a difference basically. A little under 7,000, it's almost 13 in our charges area. Like I go in my house.
This is why I think we brought this one back, because it was so different, right? Like, I'm talking two different boilers, so are they just, is Yule just replacing what we have with the same type of boiler, or are they going with? Looks like Carlson and Kalkbrenner are both more efficient, maybe. The numbers are so different that something doesn't make sense.
From my understanding, so the one that Carlson is looking at is an Alta. And we have Navian, I believe is how you would say it. Navian is a little bit cheaper for some reason, just the cost of them. So I don't know if that's the main difference.
Like Kalkbrenner, like size and everything.
It is, yeah, so I think I don't know if it's I think it's 150 or 150,000 BTUs, where this one is 200,000.
What currently do we have? Is it by any of these three? Do we have a Yule? Is that who put it in original?
Is it? Okay.
For ones that install, we're gonna show what's in.
But the brand is Navian.
It's Navia brand, yeah.
I would say, thank you for looking into that warranty. We've had troubles with this boiler since day one it was installed. It's always been offline, online, and we've been fighting it ever since, and having them come and check to see that we have warranty was awesome. I think it's time to lay this one to rest. We've been repairing it for years. And it's relatively new, that's what's sad, but that brand and that generation. There were bad ones there, because I had one in one of my homes, same thing, same issues. But I think they've come a long way now to this brand. I think it's a good buy right now. And then maybe Yule is just helping us along because they originally installed it. It's probably real easy for them. Because it's the same model, but newer. So like plumbing it out easier than starting all over with a whole new different size and stuff. So I support them getting it.
And you think Yule will be the correct route to go with?
Exactly.
That's a lot less, right? Councilor Quaid, your thought?
One thing we might want to look at is, do we do any maintenance on the boilers? Have we looked at like what the manufacturers recommended maintenance is, if they want stuff to flush out the heat exchanger, filters or often?
Well, I think a big problem with the existing one is right now, was that product total, or changing that, the air intake and the exhaust or relative is it's a configuration, it goes right up to 7. So I think there's moisture coming out and moisture getting sucked back in, which I think the exchanger's got lost a little bit from that. Which I think was probably what led to the original failure of it.
So does Yule plan on fixing that?
The exhaust, it's a different mic system.
I guess my opinion then is we can only have players smooth as well.
All right, I'll look for a motion then.
I'll make a motion to accept the replacement boiler with Evo.
And also Council Johnson has made the motion to replace it. You,
I will support.
Council Quinn has seconded. Any comments from the audience?
Sarah Elshire, 4802 Ronald Road. I'm using this because it was the example Tony gave when we were talking about the purchasing policy. My concern is that if you have this wide array of bids on all sorts of different numbers and boilers and whatnot, then, you know, she referenced this specific boiler as far as the purchasing policy for a slippery slope, as far as like, if it was under $10,000, would the citizens even know or have the ability to hear the options or force the conversation to be had? I mean, because these are all over 5,000, is that why we're hearing? And so when it switches to 10,000, would we never have known this pretty big bill? Because I would think the purchasing thing would be only emergency basis. I just didn't understand that reference. And it seems confusing.
Well, I think in this case, I mean,
Yeah, executed claims, right?
right,
Policy says that they don't,
So there would still be a talk and a motion.
well, it would be transparent that the money was spent because it'd be an executed claims and then, the spending ordinance said that folks would be retained for some period of time, so. A year or so.
So if somebody wanted to know if the city actually did their due diligence to research the best price, they would have to do a data request to find out the bids. After seeing it on the transactions or in the expenditure,
that's correct. However, in this situation,
we're talking.
only one of the bids was under $10,000. So yes, it would.
Yeah, but they were all over 5,000, and that's why Suzanne put that in
Yes.
place to have discussion about money being spent in the city.
That's been in place for quite some time.
The date's 2023.
Well, we reviewed it several times.
Yeah, it used to be 25,000 with John Warner. Yep, I know. So I'm just saying, this subject being the example that your city administrator gave would be a slippery slope situation when you start just policies.
I appreciate your thoughts on that, Tara, but there are times that decisions don't have to be brought forward to the community. For example, buying a boiler for $7,000, I don't really think the community needs to be involved in that decision. You will see that we have done it and you can question us. But I really don't think that something like that is something the community has to give about.
It's just due diligence.
We're doing due diligence here. Thank you, though. Thank you.
I will also note too, when our auditors are here doing an audit for us every year, they pick things to test, and those are things that they check. They ask me for all the quotes that I got for particular purchases, so. There is lots of checks and balances that go into every purchase that we make.
Thank you.
Okay, Corbin, 4210 West Calvin. I did have a question, boiler that is failing, you know. I mean, I understand, you know, going with the same one, they don't have to hook up so much thing, but I'm really, really confident that. I don't know how old this one is, or if it's a warranty or whatever, if you don't wanna run into this 2 years again. Yeah. You said you have trouble from the beginning on the old one, so.
Tony, what year was this? Was that when we did the addition?
No, was when we did the roof, so 2017, I believe.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get a full warranty with the new install.
Is it like a long, how long is that warranty for?
I don't know offhand.
It was just a question I had because I just wanna know if you're really confident instead of having to do this in a few years again, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we don't want to do it again, but, I know that generation of boiler was for just because I heard it from.
Have you heard about the, you know, this new one? Yeah, like they really improved improved it in it?
Yes, yes. But I remember Mayor Warner had just issues with this all the time. He was talking about this boiler, so I originally said, remember, I wasn't inside City Hall at that time. I said, get it torn up or we'll get a new one then, cause I'm having problems, but
That was just a concern. It's the same company and everything. It is a lot.
I'm thinking the Navion, the name of it, they had issues during that generation and now they have better warranty plus, you know, new models.
We do also have the exact same boiler for the new edition, and that was put in. 21. 21. We've had no issues with that past 5 years, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. Any other comments? Okay, then all in favor of the Newell boiler replacement, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Resolution 2616, returning tax forfeit property. We have talked about this before. Tony, anything you'd like to reiterate on this?
So this is for a parcel of land that we did acquire from the state back in 2022. The thought process was we would use it for public parking and or trails on Barton Road. That has not come to fruition, so if we don't put it to use, then we have to actually purchase it at the market rate. So just talked previously that it just makes more sense to reconvey it back to the state.
Does anybody have anything else that they thought of in this regard? Then I will look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 26-16.
Counselor Henderson has made the motion. We have a second.
Second.
Counselor Jacka has seconded. Any comments from the audience?
Where exactly is it? On the Martin?
Next to the blue factory.
Yeah.
Just west of it.
Okay.
I might have been here on time, I thought so at 6:30. So we're not shoehorning it in, but maybe we can utilize this property for something else. I'm here overall with
Here, the name and address, please.
I'm sorry, Jeremy Thompson, 5163 Shonen Road. My family and I moved here about 6 years ago. Been making babies. We have little kids now, so we're looking to homestead for the long haul. We kind of look like 50, 100 years old. What does the city end up looking like? I noticed recently, I haven't been paying attention too much about the data center going in at Harriman Town. I went last week. It was like 5 hours long. Public testimony was crazy. You park, you're walking blocks down the road, if the cars are going down the road. It's just such a different experience from this. It was also very eye-opening. You walked in, a lot of green shirts in the main room.
Sir, just so that you know, you have a 3-minute limit.
I'll make it quick. A lot of green shirts, everybody's supporting the project. I support it too. I think it'll bring a lot of great jobs. There are a lot of concerns with it as far as I ran some analysis. I think we're 1 in 5 chance of rolling blackouts within the next 20 years. Or if we try to mitigate the risks, it would cost each parcel of Minnesota Power Grid about $7,000 over 20, 30 years, which is huge. We're all probably going to make a lot of money out of this. Data center, it's like Rice Lake. Can look at where we're going into the future. It's going to be the rural area if they turn from a town into a data center area. I think it's important that you all take a look at this report, mull it over. They're voting again in a week. I don't think they should. There's been major warnings from the American Electrical Reliability Corporation. They issued a rare level 3 essential action alert recently, which means they're going to drop instantaneously. The option is we bring the batteries to Rice Lake. They're not loud like the data center. I think you can secure our grid and bring potentially 5% of our total tax revenue in. If they were all built, if we can push for that, all of the money's coming. BlackRock bought our energy grid. BlackRock owns Google, they're gonna build there no matter what. How can we maximize our potential limit? So just shoehorn it in it. I don't know this property would be a good spot, but that's what analysis I appreciated if everybody take a look at it. Like I said, they're voting in a week. You can put into the most advanced AIs and it'll tell you they should not. At this point, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. It's just not a good deal for Duluth or Rice Lake. They're making a lot of money out of it, but at the expense for everybody else, risking their lives. So that's it.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything? All right, then let's take a vote on returning tax forfeit property. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Meetings on Teams. I've had numerous requests that we consider having meetings open, not just council, but planning, zoning, public hearings, anything of that sort, of having the computer so that people can come in on Teams and also posting them on our YouTube channel. I asked Tony how many people typically sign in to our council meetings, and we don't have a large number. 3 to 5 is the average. But I did look at our YouTube site, and there are a lot of viewings on our YouTube site. Enough that I think this is something that we should talk about too. I checked with the communities around us, the mayors from those communities, to see what they're doing. They are only doing their council meetings. But I also put then an email out to all of the mayors that are part of League of Minnesota Cities to see what other cities in Minnesota are doing. And it's about a 50-50 split. So I think it's something that we should discuss here tonight, and we don't have to make a decision tonight by any means. One of the things that it would entail for us to do that is we do have a second person here on the council nights just to take care of this, and as we saw at the beginning of the meeting, it was needed because the meeting would have had to stop while the computer piece was being figured out, and I don't want to do that at meetings. So it would entail having another staff person working every meeting that we are doing the computer on, which obviously is an expense. Are there any other expenses involved in it, Tony?
No,
So it just be having staff.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said on my part, it's not hard.
I've been in favor of it. I would also add a comment about like finance meetings and budget meetings, you know, we're not allowed to talk, like we can't go meet at the fall in more than 2 of us or whatever. If 2 of us talk about something, we're not allowed to talk about it with the third one. So I think of these meetings, some of these other meetings, it's like working meetings, right? It's our chance for us to get together and talk about this. So, you know, I think if we are gonna do the video recording, we have all the equipment out here, we should hold the meetings out here. So I also think we should be clear that these are working meetings for us to talk. And people are free to reach out to us with their opinions on the agenda, whatever, during the public input period in these meetings, but I just don't want it to become. There, in past working meetings, there's been a lot of back. Kind of. I don't think it was the appropriate.
Well, when I talked to others, they do not allow input from outer space. You have to physically be at the meeting. There have been some issues with that, with hackers coming in and doing some obscene things. So I'm not talking about that, I'm just gonna put it out there. That's all I'm suggesting.
I'm in favor.
Oh, you're putting that on there. Since you got it, I'm with you after meeting a lot of us.
However, this does not change that at our finance meetings, our work meetings, that outside input, even if you're here, is not accepted. It would just be for counseling, planning zone.
I agree.
Okay, do we want to make a decision tonight, or do we want to ponder it a little bit more?
Second ponder.
Okay, we'll table this until the next meeting, then, Tony.
Do you mind if I just have a suggestion to say one? You talk about an extra staff person, you have that camera right there in the corner of the room. If you guys just pulled the footage during the meeting and put that on YouTube, you'd save yourself that extra person having to man the Zoom. If people are technically watching it after the fact anyway, just give them the security camera footage, then you've saved the extra person and it's still transparent.
Tony, does that cover everything?
There,
So it would not capture us.
backs of everybody's heads.
Right? Yes, something we can consider. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, we move on then to the Schultz training site. I have to say, I'm so impressed with how all of you work together on this project. You came up with some wonderful suggestions, and I just think it's wonderful. I just had to mention. So who wants to take this one?
I can do it. We just wanted to kind of, in essence, yes, fill everybody in on the discussions that took place between, Counselor Johnson, Counselor Quaid, and then the Fire Chief Mimi, and, then the residents on Schultz Road. So just kind of give a little bit of background history. So the city acquired the property in 2008. Kind of with the plans of putting a north fire hall there to replace our north fire hall on Howard Beeson Road. 2023, that focus shifted to a fire training facility. And so there were some concerns that were raised by the residents, kind of about general aesthetics of the property and the buildings that were being constructed, training taking place on site, specifically the live bird trainings, and then the use of the property as a snow and brush dumping site by the Public Works Department. So they did hold a couple of meetings. I think I only attended one of the meetings. So just wanted to kind of formalize what the consensus was from those meetings. We had previously talked about acquiring the adjacent 5 acres that are currently tax forfeit to that parcel. One of the concessions was that the city would not pursue acquiring that. With the caveat that if the county does list it for sale, then at that time, the city would work on acquiring that property. The driveway gates will be painted a forest green color by our public works staff sometime this spring, summer. They are currently red, so we're gonna paint them green to kind of blend in more with the surroundings. The storage containers that are simulating the 2-story house will be painted a gray color by public works staff. And then Gary Lundstrom, one of the neighbors on Schultz Road, is gonna provide some artistic embellishments, is how I said it, because Gary had some grand plans, so, we just want to make sure that that helps make the containers look a little bit more like the homes of the neighborhood. There's also like a standalone storage container that's kind of in the front, that to the east side of the property, behind the 2-story house, and painted to blend in with the surroundings. The final painting designs and aesthetic embellishments will be agreed upon between Chief Mimi and Gary with the firefighter safety and operational use in mind first, and then aesthetics and budget second. So when I met with them, that was kind of part of the discussion, was a little bit back and forth of, oh, well, we can do this and do this. And so we figured it was just best to kind of leave that discussion between those two to figure that out. The fire department will notify the residents on Schultz Road between Arnold Road and Howard Ganeson Road of any live burn trainings a week prior by putting notifications on their mailboxes. Public Works will continue to use the site for snow dumping of snow removed from city property. So this isn't snow that they're taking, from the roadsides. This is snow that's removed from the parking lots on our city properties. Public Works will continue to use the site to dispose of brush and trees removed from city properties or city road rights of way and chip or burn as needed. So, if they're trimming a certain road, they'll bring it there. We looked into a couple different options and there's fees that are associated with all of those. So we thought this was a good use of the property. And Public Works will continue to use site to dispose of clean ditch spoils and will discontinue once the low area to the south of the two-story house is leveled out and a drivable surface area has been established around the house. There's kind of an area behind that needs to be built up a little bit. And then just wanted to note too that staff is trained on the proper handling of, the snow dumping, the brush removal, and the clean ditch spoils, and we will follow state rules and regulations for the proper placement.
That's great.
Gary, is there anything that catches your eye that's not accurate here?
Only, should I need to? Yeah, Gary Lindstrom, 4,000 Schultz Road. I wasn't aware of brush or trees down close up there. But that one didn't get, has been had, but the request would be naturally be to the rear. Because again, I want to forward. You acquiesce to saying, at least early on, nobody will store culverts, there will store city equipment there. So I was so appreciative and the neighbors were appreciative of that as well. So, with the brush or trees, there's that goes on, like when you go to D and you've got these 2-story trees up there. But that was one thing I wasn't aware of. And the only other one was just a minor thing, was to request the gates in the color that the containers are being done in. Which would be the same match. That's it. Yeah, but I think great.
Great.
There, that's just insane. Thanks.
Just a comment on the garage, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when we've done that is like for the Firewise pilot program, and I could see like maybe after a storm or something. Should kind of more of a occasional thing than a full-time thing.
Last year, there wasn't a brush dumping site from Public Works. The fire department ended up burning. Sure. Okay, so that was outside of that Firewise.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't get out of hand. I mean, it's here from us, so. I'm not gonna sweat it. But yes, Jenny, thank you. Everybody's working well. Thank you.
Yes. Maybe just mailbox letter when you're gonna burn that to would that be? Okay.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Just a week prior to it, this is the date is,
Anytime you're trying to burn that, anytime. Yeah.
And thank you, Gary, for letting us on that.
and you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Well, then we have gotten to the end of this lengthy agenda. I have a motion to adjourn. Open to a few. Meeting adjourned.
Shane, before you go,